The fifth set of KeyForge was Dark Tidings, and it introduced a nautical, seafaring theme to the game that pervades all its houses. We have creatures like Captain Crucible, One-Eyed Willa, Ol' Patty, and Captain Nobeard, and actions such as Together and Early Birds, not to mention all the various ships that are found on different artifacts, the Sorceress, SGS Illuminator, Archon's Revenge, the Flying Spectre, etc. And nothing goes along with a pirate theme better than Hidden Treasure, and KeyForge capitalized on this by introducing 4 artifacts with the treasure trait attached to them, those of Ruins of Arcanus, Brachynalia, Dead Man's Chest, and Primal Relic. Today we'll be analyzing each of these 4 treasures, examining the synergy they possess with their respective houses, and the value they add to the game of KeyForge. I've been fortunate to open up all these treasure cards in various decks, and let me assure you they are a lot of fun to play with. They can be risky to play out though, since either player can technically find the treasure. Let's start by taking a look at Brachynalia first, and you'll see what I mean. It reads, play. Put 4 Ember on Brachynalia from the common supply. A friendly creature captures 1. At the start of each player's turn, if that player controls 4 or more creatures with Ember on them, move each Ember from Brachynalia to that player's pool. All the treasure cards function in a similar way, but with different conditions to get the Ember into your pool, making them risky to put out since either player can access that Ember once the conditions are met. And 4 Ember is quite a large gain, a whole 2/3 of a key, so chances are high that it'll put you or your opponent at check. Brachynalia fits perfectly into House Saurian since that house does a lot of capturing and the most exalting. Cards like Altruis Rostrum, Physicus Felix, Decadence, and City-State Interest complement Brachynalia perfectly, putting Ember on your creatures and bringing the 4 Ember that much closer to your pool. And if you have Sanctum in your deck as well, you're even better off, since Sanctum is widely recognized as the capturing house. However, there are some cards that actually work against you in this case, and help your opponent obtain Brackynalia's Ember, and I believe the 2 most notable culprits of this are Carpe Venum and Hedonistic Intent. Both of these cards put Ember onto your opponent's creatures. Under normal circumstances, that's usually a good thing, but in this case, it's definitely not. Either way though, Brachynalia is a neat and I'd say well-designed card, and I appreciate the similarities with its roots of origin, stemming from the word Bacchanalia, which is the Roman festival of Bacchus, that is, drunken revelry, exactly what the Storians are into. The next treasure card is found in House Logos, that of Ruins of Arcanus. It reads, play. Put 4 Ember on Ruins of Arcanus from the common supply. Archive a card. After a player plays their 6th card in a turn, if Ruins of Arcanus is ready, move each Ember from Ruins of Arcanus to that player's pool. This is another treasure card that fits perfectly in with the house that it comes from. The identity of Logos is that of deck efficiency and archiving, meaning you'll get lots of extra card draw, and if you have good archiving in your deck, plenty of cards stored away for later. Ruins of Arcanus even sets you up for it by allowing you to archive a card straight away. It also specifies that it needs to be ready, so that you can't just play it as the 6th card of your turn and immediately get the 4 Ember for yourself. The synergy found between Ruins of Arcanus and most other Logos cards is immense, with cards like Phase Shift letting you play cards out of house, Library card allowing you to draw a card every time you've played a card, Science gaining you an Ember every time you play an action card, and Honor's Kiesis allowing you to forge at +7, -1 for each card you've played that turn. Yeah, Ruins of Arcanus and Honor's Kiesis go really well together. Dark Tidings Logos also does a ton of archiving, with cards like Theory or Conjecture, Forgive or Forget, Backup Plan, and Binary Moray, just to name a few. In the end, it is deck dependent, but Ruins of Arcanus really should not be difficult to pull off for the person who played it, at least not with some proper setup. The third treasure card is Dead Man's Chest, found in House Shadows. It reads, play. Put 4 Ember on Dead Man's Chest from the common supply. Deal 2 damage to a creature. After 6 or more creatures are destroyed in a turn, if Dead Man's Chest is ready, move each Ember from Dead Man's Chest to the active player's pool. Thankfully, you can use whatever house you want to destroy those 6 creatures, whether they're yours or their opponent's. And this is good because Shadows is better at gradually chipping away at creatures rather than actually destroying them, especially in Dark Tidings. Dead Man's Chest attempts to kickstart you by allowing you to deal 2 damage to a creature when you play it, but unfortunately that's rarely enough to do much good. And lastly, Dead Man's Chest is dependent on there actually being a board out there to destroy. Without many creatures in play, or if there aren't really any ways to destroy creatures, it just kinda sits there, useless. But if you have a deck that's full of removal and is made to kill, Dead Man's Chest makes a fantastic addition to the card list. And finally, the last treasure is Primal Relic in House Untamed. This one reads, play. Put 4 Ember on Primal Relic from the common supply. Give 3 creatures a +1 power counter. At the start of each player's turn, if they control creatures with total power 20 or higher, move each Ember from Primal Relic to that player's pool. Once again, another treasure that synergizes perfectly with its house. While Ember Generation and Burst is certainly Untamed's identity, simultaneously is the theme of distributing extra power among your creatures. Within House Untamed alone, I count 15 cards that add power to a creature in one way or another, and a few examples are Genetic Drift, Bumblebird, Reaper Sow, and Mookling's Evil Twin. Even Primal Relic itself gives you a slight boost by allowing you to give 3 creatures a +1 power counter. However, you have to be careful when you play Primal Relic. If the opponent is ahead on the board, or they're gaining speed in that direction, you definitely don't want Primal Relic to be in play, because chances are they'll get that Ember, unless you have a plan to deal with their board. Primal Relic is one of the riskier treasures to play since the board is so volatile in KeyForge. It could look one way one second, and then be completely different the next, so you have to be careful with this one, confident that you have the creature power to acquire its Ember. And so, those are Dark Tidings 4 treasure cards. As I said before, these cards always add a lot of fun to the games they're in, making for an extra bonus that players can strive to obtain in the background. Let me know in the comments which of these treasures is your favorite, and just your thoughts in general regarding these fun and unique artifacts. Thank you all so much for watching, and I cannot wait to see you all again in the next one. See you later.